as I was saying, I was working on a sync track that I decided I've been working on it for like a month, and based on some information.
Let me see if I can remember it.
Some shady character.
Empty spaces. What are we living for?
That one. That's the one. I don't want to give it away. Actually, if somebody else can do it better than me, fuck yeah, do it, because I love that song, and I would love to hear a weird cinematic version of that. Anyway, I've been working on it for like a month, and I'm like, this isn't for me. It's not that it can't be done. It's just it's not for me. And I was like, that's kind of a fucking cool thing to be able to do as an artist, is to let something go. Like, I don't know. How easy is it for you to let go of an idea? You're like, this is a good idea. This is a good idea. But then go, this idea might not be a good idea for me. It might be a good idea for somebody else, but
yeah,
like robbing a bank is not a good idea for me. It might be a good idea for someone else.
Right. And I've got a great plan.
Boy, howdy. Do I have it locked down. They're onto your plan.
But
no, they're not.
I also have shit to do on Tuesdays. Welcome to 2 Shots and a Royalty Check, brought to you by Venmo, Your Money, Your Move, and Liquid Death, Murder Your Thirst. Let's get back into
it. Tuesday is not bank robbery day.
Yeah. Well, there's just so many aspects of a bank robbery that, it's...
Wait, how did we
I've
get
got a
here
lot of
again?
notebooks about it. Yeah, well, it's the getaway car and where you're going to be afterwards. How do you launder the money? It's all the post stuff. The actual robbery itself, fairly easy.
Yeah.
No one's in banks anymore, by the way. So, there is no... I think, if you robbed a bank today, you'd go in and you'd be like, everybody down, this is a robbery. And it'd be, 3 tellers.
Yeah, there might be no tellers.
There'd probably be one guy standing there oh man, I was making a business deposit, but
that's what I call going to the restroom.
Club because they still work in cash, or it'd probably be a weed store. You're like, man, on today of all days, man.
My bank doesn't have any tellers in any of the branches I visit. If I want to talk to a teller,
I have no idea. I haven't seen the inside of a bank for...
Yeah. Well, occasionally I still get, checks, and there's a different response from the depositing app versus the ATM sometimes, so I sometimes will go into a branch because if a person sees it, it'll happen differently. But most of the banks I bank with, there's no tellers anymore. It's all, machines or videos, or hey, would you like to have a conference call in a private room? It's like I feel like I'm in the silhouette room in the back of the the club where you put your dollar in the slot and the thing comes up and there's a sad person dancing behind. It's like that in the banks now, and it's just I got paid cash for something, and I went to go deposit it into my business account because I'm a responsible adult most of the time. Yeah. And so I was depositing it, and it said you have a limit on the amount of cash you can put into your bank, and you have to split this deposit into 2 deposits.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And I understand that shit's shady and the people do dumb things, but and then it's so we're going to hold the first half of this deposit and you can make the other half tomorrow. And I was like, I'm sorry, cash. I could go to the fucking store and spend this right now. But
maybe you couldn't. Not a 7-Eleven.
Yeah, but I wasn't going to 7-Eleven.
Okay.
I could go to Target and get myself some, Good and Gather or whatever the fuck their brand is.
That's right. By the way, so any of you nefarious people out there, never deposit over $9,999 because you'll tick off this thing called Swift.
Mm-hmm.
Which is this international thing that flags. It's supposed to, at least.
I love that we're giving criminal advice now on this shit. It's what's about music, but
criminal. Listen, there's sometimes you get paid in cash for music. Yeah. Sometimes things are a little.
I think we talked about this recently.
Goosey.
I used to get paid I get a check from the venue, and then they would be like, "Okay, go cash that at the bar," and I'd be like, "What?" And they'd say, "Yeah, go cash the check at the bar." And sorry, I'm manipulating my microphone because it was syncing on me. Not the sync, but the sync. And they would be like, "Yeah, just here's the check, sign it, hand it back to us. We'll give you cash for it at the bar." And I was like,
"Yeah."
And I did of course, this was before I'd really. I've had my business for 23 years, but my first check happened for music happened long before I started a business. And it was like. Okay, I guess that's the way you do things around here, guys. You know?
Well, yeah, they'd rather you out there at 2 o'clock in the morning driving around with thousands of dollars than them having to go home with that zipper bag of money.
Yeah, the lock bag. I used to work at a bank
in the morning.
I met my first ex-wife at a bank. I have two of those.
Drink.
You have to wait until I say I have two of those before you can drink. The drinking game. We have rules here, mister. But yeah, I remember like businesses walking in with a fat, like, you know, lock bag full of cash, you know. So like they'd send the 17-year-old girl who was the assistant manager that day. I need to deposit this, and it's like, and that poor kid could have got rolled at any moment in time. You know,
when I worked at the strip club,
you worked at a strip club. I had no idea.
I know. Different life, different story. We literally had a money bag.
Yeah,
and the money bag was this specific backpack. And and it was like a brown backpack, which is odd.
Oh, okay.
But like in the zipper, if you open the zipper up, like inside of it, one of the managers drew like $3 signs with like white out inside of it.
Yeah.
So that you would know this is the bag.
Oh.
And we were downtown Denver, and this is back in pretty shady 90s and shit.
Yeah.
And so every now and then I would be called upon to take the money bag.
Yeah.
And or I actually started out like being the bouncer to the money bag on the way to the bank.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd open up, we'd let the bar open a little bit, and then, well, it's time to go make the deposit. And we would make the mad dash up to 17th over to the banks with this bag. And it was like, you know, so you've got like a bag with like literally $20,000, $30,000 in it.
Yeah.
And you know, because strip clubs is all cash. It's just all cash business.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're walking, and, you know, so you're trying to be cool, but you're also like on the fucking lookout for anybody that looks weird at all.
Yeah.
You know? And one of the guys who was a manager, he was a former player for the Chicago Bears. And I'm a big dude.
Yeah.
This dude was a big dude compared to me.
Wow,
like,
that's awesome.
Huge dude. His name was John. And so it's the two of us rolling with tens of thousands of dollars in the street. Yeah. It'd be like, and then walk into the bank, and the bank knew who we were.
Yeah.
So we'd come in, they're like, oh, yes, come here.
Yeah.
Because then you had to be really careful about like, hey, can you please count this somewhere else?
Yeah.
Because anyone in the bank would be like, well, if they're bringing 30 or 40 in, they probably got a little something on them when they're walking out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we had to be really... But we actually we called it the money bag.
Yeah.
And I thought it was funny. It's as close as you can get to that bag that says money on it or has $3 signs, you know? And so you had the white... And I thought it was hilarious.
McDuck bag.
Because it was brown, and so inside, you know, the dollar signs were in whiteout, which I just thought was hilarious.
Did you ever?
Which of course was what some strippers used for nail polish.
Yeah.
Inside story there. Yeah.
I believe that don't do that. I've had some, the question I want to know is, did you guys nickname the bag the turd, or the money turd?
We named it the money bag.
The money bag. Okay.
we weren't that.
I just thought it'd be like, strap
creative.
on the turd and let's go. You know, it's like, there's so many opportunities for humor here.
Yeah. We should have done something with it, because I remember I made a joke about it once to the owner's son, where
your first mistake.
Like, he was kind of like, you know, he'd put his hand to the side of his mouth and be like, hey, go upstairs and get the money bag. I'm like, well, it doesn't really help if you're calling it the money bag in front of everyone here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he wasn't go get the shoebox, or, you know,
strap
go get
on,
whatever. Go get the bread basket. You know what I'm saying?
Strap on the turd.
By the way, he was not Italian, but
that's a missed opportunity for some real fun there.
No, he was. Their family was worse than what you would think Italian mafia was. I met real heavy duty mafia, and what they were was. Well, let's see. I'm not sure if I can say. Well, okay. So like Texarkana.
Oh.
Basically the region between Texas and New Orleans.
Yeah.
That's where they were from.
Oh my.
This nether region of no laws.
Taint of America.
kind of swamp, kind of Texas, libertarian, but like nobody messed with them. Yeah, they were hardcore.
Oh my God. I remember doing shows, I'm not going to say where, but, that, we'd have some venue we'd roll into on the bus or whatever, and you'd get off and there would be a person greet you at the door and they would escort you to a room that you technically weren't allowed to leave until it was your time to play. They had very strong accents, shall we say. And I must have played probably, 10 or 12 of these clubs where there was definitely some other stuff going on in the back room. Right?
There's always other stuff.
And that's one of the more terrifying things you realize being in the industry is like sometimes there's an element. So just why, some people are, very, very, very hostile to, companies like AEG at Live Nation, but at least they're not chopping up grams of cocaine in the back room while you're on stage and selling it in the alley behind the venue.
Theirs. Yeah.
It's not theirs. Yeah, exactly. There's not a pit full of people, working for minimum, no money in the back.
In the early days of AEG, somebody that I knew that was a talent booker got a rider that had a lid of cocaine on it. And he was like, is this the brown M&M thing where,
you're just making sure I'm paying attention?
Yeah. And I was like, well, I mean, I can get it for you.
You've been on enough tours that did you ever do the trick with there's something in the rider that is there just to see if you're paying attention?
Yes.
Like enough times that what was it?
Diet Sprite was
Diet
mine.
Sprite. Okay.
Because it is so fucking hard to find.
Yeah.
Or it used to be.
Yeah.
And so like we actually played a huge festival in Utah and we had our own PA that was like helping us.
Yeah.
We were like headlining.
Yeah. And
so this guy was like, whatever you need. And I'm like, how come where's my fucking Diet Sprite? Where's my 6-pack of Diet Sprite? Not the bottles, the fucking can. And he went and got it. And we thought it was hilarious because he went all over to find some.
Jeez.
And because it is hard to find. It's not in every place. I mean, maybe now, I don't know. But it wasn't then.
They didn't have it at the local Buc-ee's?
Reason why I had it there. Yeah. So he brought it. And this was a joke because we were tipping him like $200 and set him up with girls and stuff. But so he brings it back and Jeff my drummer thought it was hilarious. There was this whole thing. They took us out golfing. There was all this stuff before the show. It was really VIP shit.
Yeah.
But so he brings me the Diet Sprite. And so I was like, I can't perform without it. I can't do it, And he comes and he brings it and I get the can and I take it out of the 6-pack and I went, and then poured it out on the concrete floor.
Just one for your homies? Yeah. Sorry, the wind just went crazy around here and all the dogs lost their damn minds except mine. So I don't know if you can hear. I don't know if you can hear them.
It's going crazy here too.
Yeah, it's a lot. I'm glad we went out for our morning walk a little earlier. But yeah, that was a hell of a gust right there. Probably drove a couple of small cars into trees.
I'll take it over the polar vortex.
Yeah, speaking of the polar vortex, that was quite the adventure for 3 days around here. We were in probably the negative teens around here.
It was negative 17 down here.
Yeah. It's about what it was here.
And then wind chill was 27.
Yeesh.
Yeah, it was brutal.
I did an East Coast tour many, many years ago, which was fucking fun as fuck, but you weren't allowed to be outside because it was that cold and we were in Boston and Chicago. So it was just fucking cold. And then I flew to Mexico on the Sunday and played some gigs down there. It's fucking great. Yeah. But
my Colorado kid came out though.
Yeah.
I put on everything just
to prove a point.
I did have to go to the store.
Yeah.
But I kind of didn't.
Yeah.
You can get through another day.
You proved a point, yeah.
It was about 3 days of it, but the worst day where it was minus 14, minus 17, whatever, I did put on all the stuff and the hoodie and sunglasses, the whole deal.
Yeah.
And I make it sound like I went out on an adventure. It's literally a block away.
Oh yeah, you got that. Yeah, you got that grocery store there. Yeah.
Yeah. I live pretty close to. I'm in a walkable city. Let's say. And So I went and got. It was hilarious because I wanted potatoes.
Potatoes.
And so I went and I got my person sweet potatoes. She likes those.
Yeah.
I went and had 2 bakers. I went and got 2 bakers. And I was like, well, but I also want potatoes for like making fries or something. And so I went and I got a bag of 5-pound potatoes. So there I am at like ideal checkout with like a plethora of potatoes.
Would you say it's a plethora, guapo?
But it was cold.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I made a couple of short trips there, and also, I have a dog, so he needed to go outside on the leash a couple times, and if he doesn't get at least a little bit of exercise, he's a real prick. So we ventured out every single day for at least 20, 25 minutes. And the day it was the coldest, we walked outside. We were out there for 3.5 minutes, and he's not normally one to lead the charge. He's like usually follows me around. He was like, "Fuck this, I'm going inside." And he has shoes on and everything like that, just because it's so fucking cold, But he was like,
"No, little dog shoes."
Little dog shoes, yeah, because like especially
are they like Converse.
No, they're not. Like they're like just like little like Velcro booties, and he fucking hates them. But also, it was so cold that like I knew if it got in between his pads and stuff like that, and he was out there for any longer, he would be in real pain, and I just did not want that. So and like there was one moment where he like I would say, okay, let's go outside, and he basically sat by the fireplace with his tail between his legs and was like, "Fuck you, that is not happening right now." Just sat there, and normally he's a good lad and he'll do what he wants to do, but it was so cold that even my dog that likes to burrow in snow because he's part Malamute, he was not having it. I was like, that's pretty fucking cold if he doesn't want to be outside.
Well, and it was interesting to explain to people like it's not cold enough for ice.
Yes,
because nothing melts, so it's all crunchy.
It's all
snow.
All just blowing around all over the place.
Yeah, but once you touch inside or anywhere somewhere else, then everything gets wet.
Oh yeah.
Here's the irony of ironies. As it's cold out, of course, I'm like totally stoked to watch the cold football games and all that inside.
Well, speaking of that,
I'm loving all that shit, right? But here's the irony: my refrigerator was warm. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, why is it? You don't want a cold drink. I got a Brita filter in there. Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck? It seems like it's getting warmer. And of course, I do the whole, did you touch the fridge? That But anyway, as it turned out, the refrigerator was on the fritz.
Oh, no.
And so over the last 2 days, I've been living like I'm camping.
Oh.
So I've got like a cooler outside. I'm like, well, it's 40 degrees outside now.
Yeah.
I came, like, that's the other thing is the swing
from
minus 17 to 44.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, it was heavenly. It was like I was out there in like a muscle shirt.
Yeah. Showing off your sweet guns.
Totally. Sun's out, guns out, baby. But so I had everything outside, like all the sauces. So I had to empty the fridge out. I'm Mr. Refrigerator Repair guy because I'm like, okay, well, let me see. Is it the compressor? Or is it the temperature gauge? Because the freezer's working fine, blah, blah, blah. And so today was a decision on whether to get a refrigerator repairman, buy a brand new refrigerator, or whether the reset of the refrigerator actually worked overnight. So there's 3 levels.
Okay.
All right. Come in here close, kids. If your refrigerator isn't working, what it normally is the compressor is blocked or the dampener is blocked and the thermostat isn't kicking on. Okay. And so what you got to do is, guess what? Unplug it.
Yeah.
That's it. Like you unplug it, especially if you got one of those crazy like electronic refrigerators. So you normally unplug it for like 5 minutes. There's a secondary level where you unplug it for like 35 to 45 minutes, and then you plug it back in, then you hit the compressor on, see if it works. The third one is like if it's really bad. You have to unplug it for about 24 hours. Well, at least overnight.
But
that means you got to pull all the shit out of it.
Yep.
You unplug it for an hour, everything's still cold inside. It's fine. But so we had to take everything down to another fridge last night in the freezer, put all the refrigerator stuff out on the patio.
Yeah.
And so like going out on the patio, getting water last night and this morning getting breakfast stuff out there. It was totally like camping. It was great.
Yeah.
But by the way, that Diet Dr. Pepper was the coldest thing I've had in like 3 days. Well, I pulled it in last night.
Was it delicious? And you were like, yes.
Oh, it was so damn good.
I would make a point if that was the case. I'd make sure that like now the patio is my fridge, and my fridge sees me in my underwear all the time. Now my patio's seeing me in my underwear.
That's right. It's a good thing I'm in the penthouse.
When I was on my honeymoon with my my first wife, I have 2 of those.
Drink.
There you go. Thank you. Did you just hands up nail
right, Kelsey?
Is Kelsey keeping
said drink?
Okay, Kelsey's keeping track of the rules because they change every other week. But there was we were in Greece and it was gorgeous, but like so we had this beautiful view of like we were in Santorini, this caldera where the dormant volcano, beautiful. But every fucking morning when we go out to the patio for our breakfast, there was this one. His name must have been Stavros or something. This one dude, this glorious Greek god of a man, just sporting the gut, furry as fuck, and he had a banana hammock on that was probably the equivalent to a small face mask. Just holstering his grapes, and he would stand out there proudly glistening in the sun with his hands on his hips while I'm trying to beat the shit out of a hard-boiled egg. It was and I will never just proudly surveying his kingdom, and I was like, oh man, I want that kind of confidence in everything I do.
A beach buddy.
That is a beach buddy. Yeah, so I was like, fuck yeah, man, you get it. I was just like, it was just so exciting to see him out there every day. It was like just zero fucks. I don't care what you think of me or my body. I am out here and I'm proud and I'm fucking enjoying my day. Go fuck yourself. Please, I want that kind of confidence.
Yeah. Getting his vitamin D.
Yeah.
He's probably healthier than both of us.
Well, he lives in that, was it the Blue Zone? One of the blues.
He's fat with dates and sardines.
Dates and sardines, band name. But yeah, isn't that one of those blue zones where it's like the diet is so good that they have a longer life expectancy because of the diet and the.
Yeah. Oh, mostly unprocessed, so they use natural oils and olive oil and
oh man, I could live on olive oil.
A lot of fish, a lot of fresh vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ouzo.
Oh, I don't like ouzo. I don't
either. But I guess it pickles you.
Well, I could pickle myself. Speaking of pickles, I have an addiction right now to pickled beets.
You have an aversion to that, or you're into
addiction. Like I moved into the new house, and I bought myself a jar of pickled beets, and I will sit. I've been editing some audio lately, and I have a fork with a small bowl full of pickled beets with my left hand. So I'm dragging and dropping with one hand and shoveling pickled beets into my face with the left hand. Are they red? Oh yeah.
They're the blood red ones?
Yeah, and they are fucking delicious. So the next day, there's, like you have your morning constitutional, and there's questions as to, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I've been eating a lot of pickled beets.
Beets and asparagus is when you have to remember what you ate so you don't go to the doctor freaking out.
There was one tour where we stopped at a couple of fucking White Castles. And I was probably 26, 27 years old, and I had an addiction to fucking strawberry Fanta. And one day I overdid it, and it showed up later on that day, and I thought I had to go see somebody. Turns out just strawberry Fanta.
It's the worst.
It's the worst. Okay, so let's talk about some stuff. We do have a rundown. See,
do we?
Do we have a rundown? Well, Kelsey's right there.
We've got a few things. Yeah.
We talked about the refrigerator. We talked about the polar vortex. Oh, where are you in the studio move? And when can I come in? When can I come over and help you move?
I have some shelving on the way to get rid of.
Ooh.
Not get rid of, but to move all of the books. And there's a lot of sheet music.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, I found a treasure trove of sheet music from my grandma that I have, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
But, yeah, I've got, like, a lot of books and, sort of pictures and things and stuff that I want to get out of here as well. But yeah, we're close. We're getting closer. The refrigerator kind of set me back a little bit. The polar vortex and the refrigerator. Yeah. I was hoping for last weekend. I was like, oh, it's a freeze thing. And so, yeah, I didn't fuck with it.
No, well.
But I've got a few things happening. And yeah, I think next week we're going to be pretty close to to getting close to the whisper room, and then that's when you can come over and I will regale you with tequila.
Oh, I've got some. I had a housewarming gift of some good tequila and some good bourbon, so I will be happy to also help support. But we are all. I think we should have ourselves, if we can find a way to do this, a 2 Shots live with at a taco bar with good tequila, and we do this while eating tacos. I'm just gnawing right into the microphone. And drinking a very good tequila with guests who join us for an exciting adventure. What do you think of this idea?
Guests? Who guests would be?
I mean, personally, I would love to get one of our Music Soup friends out here to talk about that kind of stuff if they'd be interested in that.
Well, yeah, that'd be great.
If we can do something like
fantastic. I am thinking about that as like a series. Kelsey and I were talking about that last week about having breakout ones that are just interviews with soups.
Yeah.
Again, just basically, and it's not to pick their brain on helping independence and all that. I mean, that will be natural.
Yeah.
But I would like to shine a light on those people more.
Yeah.
Of like what they actually do, having done some of it, but not to that level. But like how the process and maybe their favorite projects that they're working on or whatever, and kind of give people a better understanding about the art of music supervision. Yeah, because it is. It absolutely is. They are, in my mind, producers.
It's funny to me. We just had the Emmys happen around these here parts.
Yes, yeah. Golden Globes, Emmys.
Like a whole then Critics' Choice. They were all happening within like a week of each other or something like that.
It is awards season.
It's awards season, and I went down the rabbit hole on some of these awards, and it goes fucking deep. As far as like some of the like there's best makeup, there's best makeup non-prosthetic, there's best outstanding music supervision Emmys. There's it goes deep, and there's some serious recognition in the community for that skill set, and I applaud them because it is a harder job than you think.
Well, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but beep here.
Beep, motherfucker.
2015, maybe 2014, something around there.
Yes,
I
Before
wrote
the dark times.
A fairly viral blog post on Medium or something.
Nice.
And it was basically like, it's time for a music supervision Emmy. And it was based on Scott Venner, who was the music supervisor for Entourage. That's how long ago this was.
No, that's great.
And his work on Entourage deserves so many awards. Not only because he ended up getting Led Zeppelin for the last song, but
nice.
There was this M&Ms song that was used on a house fire scene. It was just, anyway, there was some amazing shit. You could probably find it.
Yeah.
You sleuths out there. But in 2017, the Emmys listened to me. It was actually
that's
2016.
Cool. Yeah.
2016, and they added it in 2017 to have a Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Music Supervision.
Nice.
And look, I'm not the only one who said that. I'm sure there were plenty of other in the music supervision community, but I did make a big fucking deal out of it, and I think I made a good case of it. And so now we have it.
Yeah.
And do you know who won the last one?
Gabe Hilfer.
Gabe Hilfer.
That's fucking right. I saw that.
Bull Elephants.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. It was,
and Robin Erding was nominated, and Frankie Pine and Krista Miller. By the way, Krista Miller.
Yeah. Yeah.
God damn it.
Doing
I mean, half of the shit we've mentioned on this were
probably her.
Those music supervisors were involved in it. So,
and that lot. I mean, I know I mentioned Gabe probably 7 or 8 times probably throughout, because he's just doing the Lord's fucking work. It's
and there's also Guild of Music Supervisors. So if you're really into this and you want to go down the road of being a music supervisor, go look up Guild of Music Supervisors. They do some really good work on education, how to join, Friends of the Guild. They have this whole Friends of the Guild thing.
Yeah,
I'm not a member, but they're a nonprofit.
Should you be?
I know people in it. Yeah, I probably should.
Right.
I've supported them.
Yeah, and
one of our friends, we have a few friends that are part of it.
Yeah,
but I feel bad because I'm not in LA. It's very much an LA thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
But you can support them from afar.
Yeah.
But especially if you want to learn, they have really good mixers and really good like kind of educational things. And this is not the place to go fucking pitch your music.
Yeah,
by
do
the
not.
way.
No, don't do that.
Do not do that. Don't go do that.
Yeah.
You know, it's basically one of those things of like this is what was there long before there was an Emmy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like this is just sort of them having their annual awards, and they have like multiple categories and stuff like that. But Guild of Music Supervisors is a fantastic organization.
I love that they're
support
a
them.
guild. It's like something out of fucking Dungeons and Dragons or Dragonlance or some shit.
Yes,
It's like,
you get a leather like tie up vest, right? Like
you get a corset, and it's like and you also get a cape with a hood.
That'd be sweet.
You can lurk in the corner
a
at,
cowl.
at taverns.
I love a cowl. Do you guys have a cowl?
They have a cowl. They have you get to wear it at the tavern where all meetings are held, and
That's right.
all
When
the
you walk
all
in
the campaigns
door, you
begin.
roll the die.
Yeah, it's a
Is it
16.
die?
Yeah,
Or
well,
is
if
it
there's more
dice?
than one, yeah.
Is it dies? Anyway,
Die.
you killed 2 guys.
That's solid. Hey,
Shout out James Acaster.
there you go. That's well done. Hey, last time we were talking, you were making a trek to a Denver landmark.
Oh,
And
it has happened.
It has happened, and I am curious on your thoughts on
Casa Bonita.
Yes. How was it?
It was really fucking great.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Yeah, it was. It was, look, anybody that's ever been,
Yes.
we had a virgin with us. She's
Oh.
never been before. And it's on her bucket list. She had moved to Colorado
I love it.
25 years ago and had never been, but
Yeah.
heard about it, South Park and all that.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
And so she was involved in our group, and we were there with some really close friends, and it was really fun.
Nice.
But so she had never been before, so she was totally excited.
Aw.
Meanwhile, all of us have been before,
Yeah.
many times.
Remember
prior.
what it was? Shit
One
it
of the
was.
people has been since the opening. This
Yeah.
is her second new opening trip.
Yeah.
But anyway, she was saying this virgin who had never been before was like, "Oh, I get it. It's kind of like Disneyland. Like everyone thinks of it as a Mexican restaurant with other things, but she saw it kind of for what it is. The whole thing is an experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you sit, where you walk in, how it works, blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah.
yeah.
And I'll tell you what, it is a lot more like Disneyland now because it's not $25 anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
It's about $50 each.
Yeah,
It's an amusement park price.
yeah.
So bear that in mind. But the food was great.
Yeah.
I mean, it was good. It was
Yeah.
good. Let's say it was good. I had like carnitas tacos and saw some enchiladas. The sopapillas are still banging.
Yeah.
That's still banging.
Yeah.
So that was really good. So get that out of the way. The food is markedly better.
Yeah, than it was.
I still would go to Tacos Jalisco or you know,
yeah.
some of my favorite haunts way before I'd go to Casa
Yeah.
Bonita. But
Yeah.
but if you're there, at least you know it's going to be good.
Yeah, you're not going to die of dysentery this time.
No, on the Oregon Trail.
Yeah, on the Oregon Trail.
But the biggest thing about it, especially the way they're doing it now with the reservations, but by the way, you had to enter in through like metal detectors. And
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
That's a little different.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing about it now is, and she never got to feel this, but showing up at 11 o'clock on a Saturday in the morning, hungover, and you're waiting in an unair conditioned snaking line for like 2 fucking hours for them to like slam a plate to you, and you got to walk it up to your table. You know, that whole waiting thing to get food, and you're like, oh my God, I'm so hungry. Oh my God, I just need a beer or a Coke. Anything, help me, God, is gone. You they rush you through, get your tickets, order your food, go to your table, get your drinks, and then boom, they bring the food out.
Yeah.
Here's the other different thing. You eat, and then they're like, you're done. Go do your fun things, but your table's gone now.
Yeah.
So whereas you used to just sort of camp out at a table while you were there,
Yeah.
you don't do that anymore.
He goes on your
So
adventures.
yeah, we did the caves, and there's a lot of little touches. I don't want to give it away if you go, but there's a lot of little touches. A little bit of South Park is in there now.
Yeah.
A little bit more Mexicana kind of stuff is in there right now, and which is kind of cool. I really dug that. It's living that up a little bit. But yeah, the cliff divers are so much better. You can have 2 of them now.
Yeah. It's not some terrified high school
fun.
kid, making barely minimum wage and.
Yeah, these are guys who, let's just say, they're
work out.
at a very cool club on Saturday night with their other guy friends.
Yeah.
They were excellent divers.
They're excellent divers.
Playing it up a little bit.
And they are also for a man that appreciates the aesthetic of the male physique.
Fucking gorgeous.
They are gorgeous, and they are they work out.
Yeah, they do work out.
Yeah.
So it's, 8, 9 out of 10. I was surprised by how well it was run.
Yeah.
Somebody in our group was like, well, God, they just kind of rush you through. And I'm like, trust me, that is the best thing that happened.
Yeah.
Like, just get to it. Get to it. Let's go. And so, the food was markedly better. The environment, and by the way that they've built the inside out a little bit, the environment is so much better to roam.
Yeah.
Like before, you would literally be standing by someone eating, watching the divers.
Yeah.
Now they kind of have areas and places all over the place where you can do that. And the kids, when I say kids, they're 16, 17. They're not kids anymore. But it seemed comfortable for them. Yeah. Of course, they wanted to go the fuck home. But,
they are teenagers. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was. It was really fun, and I'm glad I got to share it with a newbie.
Yeah.
I guess I should say newbie more than virgin.
Yeah, I think we all knew what you meant, and I don't think it was taken in any
and you're going next week?
I've been once already, but I've got a friend's name came up in the lottery, and he's putting together a party of individuals, and it is somebody in this podcast's birthday in the next few days, and he may or may not be. He may or may not be going on an adventure. That might be part of it.
Come on, you old cunt. Going on an adventure.
Speaking of
I'm excited about that.
So this will be my second viewing. The first time
I washed my pants for it. I know it's coming up. It's like in the day.
You washed your pants for my birthday?
I'm going to put pants on.
You got your birthday pants?
Yeah, I got my birthday pants on.
Happy pants birthday. Once a year. The Colorado short.
Only because you go to places where there's pants, like
the pants required. Enforcement rules. You can't be the Colorado shorts guy at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse.
Oh Christ! Cargo shorts and sandals.
Isn't that like that?
And a collar.
God! There was it was cold enough to challenge that. If you're that guy in Colorado.
He's that guy.
I'm trying to find. There's
a few of them.
There was a fucking hard times thing about that recently, and I can't find it. But it was like so cold, guys. Oh, here's my other favorite one. I'm going to just read it right now. This is a complete non sequitur, but it was a Hard Times News headline. It says, "Help! I recorded a fart through a Chase Bliss pedal, and now I'm number 1 on Spotify's ambient charts." And but there was one about guy whose entire identity revolves around shorts. Too cold in this shit too,
Yeah, he's wearing sweats.
But thank you for washing your traveling pants.
Yeah. House of the Traveling Pants.
House of the Traveling Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Something.
Yaya Sisterhood.
Get your yayas off in your pants.
Fuck, I don't remember the name of that fucking book now.
Eat, Pray, Love Pants.
I'm reading a book by Elizabeth Gilbert right now, and it's
not very good at literary stuff.
Yeah. I am. I got a little bit.
Are you doing something? Are we doing something? Are we closing down a bar? What's going on?
We can always close down a bar.
Do you have plans?
I don't actually have plans. I mean, I've been kind of in a not hunkered down state, but there's been a lot of creative ventures I've been playing with right now, and so I really didn't make any plans, but. Maybe we need to go on a fucking adventure.
Well, yeah, when you move, you got to get your shit together.
You guys. I mean, it's been a little over a month here, so I mean, things are settled down. The dog is currently unconscious in front of the fireplace. He, I posted a photo on Instagram last night of him cuddled up on the couch with his teddy bear. I'm like, I think we fucking moved in. So
yeah, I'm totally jealous of that.
The fireplace,
I'm looking forward to a nap this afternoon,
or the teddy bear. Oh, speaking of naps, did you get any sleep last night?
Napster. No, I'm just kidding.
Fuck.
That was Kelsey through the glass.
She like slammed herself against the glass, like that star
podcast.
Well, we have talked about music business.
It isn't though. It isn't. It's a podcast about music people.
Yeah,
music people live regular lives, Kelsey. All right.
What is she saying next? Because I don't have her in my headphones today because I couldn't stand it.
Business podcast.
This is why I let her yell at you.
I'll get to Ariana Grande and sped up songs. We'll do it.
Oh, God. Okay, so my kid is really into a bunch of this shit. Like a bunch of like that, like either slowed down or sped up song. And then it's fucking like pegged into the red and just distorted, nasty digital clipping. And I'm like, not that I'm going to tell him, turn that shit off, because I'm not my fucking dad. But I am, but I'm just, I'm like, I don't get it, but I don't explain something to me. Explain it to me, because I don't fucking get it.
Okay, so I've talked to a few Gen Z people about it, and the best way I can understand it is this is kind of like early hip hop. Mm-hmm. When your parents listen to a certain kind of music, and you know it's good, right?
Yeah.
You know it's good.
Yeah.
But you can't like the same music that your dad likes a lot of the time. You know what I mean? Like at some point you kind of gotta rebel a little bit.
Yeah.
And so in early hip hop, well, not the earliest of hip hops, but as hip hop kind of grew a little bit, you would get like a sample that was chopped up, right? It was mixed a little bit weird. It was sped up or slowed down.
Or turned,
it was chopped
reversed.
A little bit. Yeah, or reversed, yeah.
Yeah.
Flip it and reverse it.
Yep, I will.
It's your business wet yet. Go ahead and play that backwards, you guys. That says Satan. But anyway, so that's basically where this, I think it's where it comes from, I think.
Yeah.
Is that it makes kind of something they know is a cool song, a cool sound. And if you think about it, like even Kanye's like in The Wire is using a Shaka Khan thing, but it's like it's really sped up.
Yeah.
A lot of people are pointing to that as like where really sped up stuff kind of started in the cultural ethos.
Gotcha.
But also, I would be remiss, my gaming people, Nightcore is something that is basically 35% sped up all the time.
Wow.
And that is like a whole genre within like YouTube and Nightcore music. But so, yeah, it's 35 to 50% sped up. Some people say 150%. I don't think they understand how varispeed works. I'm more apt to believe that 35 to 50% is the sweet spot of how it works. I think it's really interesting, though, where, you know, we've been talking about this for a year, where I've said you need to release multiple releases of the same song. It doesn't take too much time to do this, but you have your single, you have your a cappella, you have your instrumental, then you have your monster mix. Maybe it's double of the song or whatever with a long instrumental break in the middle. Then you have your sped up, you have your slowed down, blah, 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 right? You have all of these different releases. Yeah. So that people can use it as sounds on different platforms, whether it's TikTok or Reels or whatever. But also, DJs want that kind of thing too, to use it. And so you may get a little crossover into another genre that you don't know about. Well, this happened last week. Yeah. Ariana Grande released a song called Yes and. Now, apparently, she's a little problematic right now, and I'm not sure why. I didn't go down that rabbit hole, but like she's lost like 1 million Instagram users over something. I do know that the video is a ripoff of Cold Hearted Snake from Paula Abdul. But like, I know that most of these people are not old enough to know that. But they'll get it eventually. But so she on iTunes released like Yes and sped up single, Yes and slowed single, Yes and sped up different mix of single, Yes and acapella single, Yes and acapella sped up single, all 69 cents each. And she got a ton of blowback from people that are like, why are these people, why can't just pop people be interested in their art and music? This is a corporate money grab. Because so some people say that the reason why artists and or labels are doing this is that each of those count as a sale on the same ISRC code.
Yeah.
And so you basically double, triple your sales if you have super fans, or if you have other fans that are buying the sped up version, and by buy, I mean either buy or stream 1,000 times. And so a lot of people say that it's a money grab to try to get to number one or to try to hit the charts. So you can probably see it on Apple Music where it's yes, comma, and question mark is the Ariana Grande song. But she has all of these different versions of it.
Yeah.
And so she's getting some blowback from some people, although I think they're sort of an older generation. I think actually the younger people are like, yeah, that's what I want. I want all of it. I think the other thing about sped up music and slowed down music, so when we say sped up, we mean all very speed. You know, you have your regular single, whether it's going to be sped up or slowed or how it's going to be chopped up like that, doesn't really matter. It's just a different version of it. I think personally that especially younger people want to feel as if they have a little bit more control over the music that they interact with. So where this all comes from is somebody taking that song, and they have GarageBand, they have DAWs, they have Ableton, they've got whatever. And so they go and do it and then upload that on TikTok. That's where a lot of this really reached into major cultural shit, is somebody using it as a sound. And then all of us artists are basically, you know, mirroring that back. Oh, shit, is that what you want? Okay, here, we'll do it.
We'll do it. That way we can control it a little bit here.
I have not done a release like this yet. But I do think that it's valuable because it doesn't take too much to do. It's not too hard to do. You can Google how to do it.
Yeah.
And you can get on Fiverr and have someone do it for you if you want. You know, and you could probably pay your mixer a little bit extra. I don't know. Speak to that. But I think that Spotify there's people that have trouble with it because there are people that are saying that on Spotify, this is taking out of the general royalty pool because these songs are getting more spins, more streams, and then that is adding to that major royalty pool. But, you know, I guess my end result of this, like my end game on this is always like, how does the fan want it?
Yeah.
And so if there is a significant amount of people that want an acapella, whether that's DJs that want to be able to do something underneath it, or other bedroom producers that want, you know, that don't have vocals to work with, and they're like, well, shit, if I get this and I create a cool enough thing, I can probably license it eventually.
Yeah.
Or if it's younger people that want the sped up version because it's different than what's on the radio or the regular single or the official music video. Oh, well, then give it to them. Who gives a fuck? You might as well be proactive. Don't let them do it. You know, get your money on it.
I agree. I agree with that.
That's where I stand on it.
I think it's again, it's like you're getting told, hey, we like this song. We want it a little faster, and we'd like it in the red wrapper, if you would, please. And you know, it's not an exit screen. But you know, where everybody's is different. It's you're getting information in real time from consumers that they want their music this way. They want to consume it this way. Yeah. It's happening consistently. Like there's you're right. Part of this is a rebellion against, you know, I can't like the same stuff my dad likes. I mean, my kid has a playlist that he shares with me, and it's all music that he just loves. And some of it's stuff that I introduced him to, and some of it's stuff that he found organically on his own, or it was in a game, or it was something he's like this. And some of it is, you know, sped up Verispeed. You know, some of it is even like pitch shifted Verispeed, you know?
Yeah.
Which, so it's like sped up and the pitch goes up with it. So, which I'm always like, well, that kind of changes things, but
Billie Eilish, duh.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, like I'm all for people taking control of what they like This is such a Stu answer. Come on.
I know.
You know,
whatever makes people feel good about it, that's good for them.
I mean, I also believe
as long as it's not hurting someone.
Yeah, as long as you're not shivving somebody.
But it is, right? Like there's a mixing community question here too. You spend all this time to let everything sit in the mix and the vocals sit right and the air and everything you take excruciatingly long periods of time to figure out the right BPM so that it feels right. And then someone comes in and goes, yeah, fuck that. Here you go.
Yeah. But after there's a point where like you put something out, it's no longer yours. It's no longer yours to control. And at that point in time, you have to let go of that control. I've done what I needed to do with that piece of art, and I have let it go. And if somebody else chooses to interpret that again and interpret it differently, they're not telling me I didn't write the song and I don't own the rights to it or anything like that. What they're doing is they're saying, I want to hear it like this. It's like somebody doing it's just a cover song at a certain point, except I still own the master.
Two other things here I think that are important to point out. One, there's nothing new under the sun. This is just someone taking an LP album and turning it to 45.
Yep.
So it's supposed to be at 33, and you throw it to 45. And
DJs have been doing this in clubs for years with that shit.
Yeah.
Speeding it up to tempo matching. Yeah.
When cassette players came out, you used to be able to hold the play button in a certain way to where it goes. You could do that kind of thing, and that sounded weird.
What's that again? Fantastic. I'm going to go for the trifecta. Can you do it one more time for the kids?
I can do it backwards. Yes. Right. By the way, play that forward. That said, hello, Satan.
Thank God.
But here's the second part of this, is that none of this happens without the original track being done.
Yep.
Right? Like you still have to do the work and create the original track in the way that you intend it to be, using the Rick Rubin rules. You're using your inner guide, of like, please yourself in this and make sure that you create the art that you want to make. And then, it's up to the world. But you can also have a hand in putting out different versions of it.
Yeah.
And that's nothing new either. Maxi singles, 7 inches. There's nothing new about taking a single and making it making it Spanish, making it, different levels of vocals, kind of brightening up just the lead vocal. There's ways to do that. People have been doing this forever.
Yeah.
Where it's, singles have never, that's why they're singles, by the way.
Yeah.
Is that they've never been static, because they're going to, hopefully it's a great enough song to where you're like, I'm putting a bunch of chips behind this song, not the 7th song we recorded, this song. Well, and that also means now, not just an instrumental, not just an a cappella, not just a dance version, not just a R&B version, not just a dance hall reggae version, not just a whatever. Now you got to do sped up. So you're just adding a few things, sped up or slowed down. It's actually not that much more.
You're giving yourself more opportunities to succeed. That's all.
Yeah.
And
why would you turn them down?
Yeah. We've been, how often did we have radio versions of singles? And then the album version was different. It was longer, it had a solo in it. I mean, longer intro, that kind of stuff. And but
cuss words.
Yeah. It's just we've been playing this game for people to say that this is new, this is different. It's really not. It's the same. It goes in cycles. It goes around. What goes around, comes around the way back around. It's a new thing. Try it out. See what happens. You never know. I think I was just talking to an artist recently about the reason to have instrumentals and acapellas. They'd never even considered the idea of a remix. Like I was like, just I could find right now through just one phone call about 130 Euro DJs that would give you a remix of your song with your vocals right now. And, why not?
And in fact, they don't want the underlying music.
They don't. Yeah.
There's oftentimes a lot of remixers who just give me the lead vocal. I'll know, if you can tell me, the root. Yeah. What key it's in, or whatever the BPM, that helps. But they'll figure it out. You can do, You can do tempo detector and all that kind of shit.
Beat detective.
But yeah, you want to just set it in and then let your mind create the music behind it. That's what a lot of remixers do, DJs do. I
do that with I've had a few artists over the last month or so come to me and say, this is my bare bones version of this. And I will say, okay, I want you to send me the session. I don't want you to send me the mix down of your song, because I'm going to bounce out the vocals on their own first, and I'm going to do my version of it first. And then I will listen to your version. And the reason is because I want to get all of my ideas out on it before I let my thought process be encumbered by whatever they did before. And it might come across as like, oh yeah, that's a better idea, I'm going to take that and put that in here, and then it becomes more of a collaborative process. But I do want that first version of it to be, I want to listen to your vocal and decide what I think it should be before I listen to what you think it should be. First. That doesn't mean that I'm going to ignore it. I think this is also like a reaction to, there isn't, like, music is, a lot of pop music especially, or release music these days, is not fast or hard, and like the sped up version is more exciting. And and then like the slowed down version is very druggy. Like, it's both very druggy. In a lot of ways. A lot of mid-tempo stuff out there right now.
A lot of mid-tempo stuff. And I mean, painting around the edges of a little bit slower from mid or a little bit higher from mid. But yeah, there's nothing really like in pop music that's aggressive. Mm-hmm. And, so when you hear a sped up song, it sounds a little aggressive. It sounds a little, immediate. And the same with slowed down music. It starts feeling a little bit more like lo-fi. Mm-hmm. It starts feeling a little bit more like
chill,
a little druggy, and so, yeah, I think that it's not hard to do. Shoot for 35 to 50%.
Yeah, that's a good way. Good
one way or the other, high or low, and see what you end up with on an output. Just copy the track over and then do it that way, and you can do Verispeed or whatever, and do the whole track, and don't take too long on it. That's the other thing. Almost in every one of these cases, these are quick and dirty output mixes.
Get it done.
So let the single sit as it does mixed, and then copy, and then do it from there. Don't try to remix it on a sped up version or whatever, because the whole point of it is to be quicker and get it out. So I would say I do think that most independent musicians, because this is not expensive compared to all the other things we have to do,
it's real easy
especially
to do.
Especially if you're on like a DistroKid account or whatever with unlimited uploads or whatever. So what? Like, just put up 7 versions. Then you have like a whole maxi version of that song, and I think you'll see more of it within TikTok and Reels and that kind of thing. It's really used more for sounds, and don't get too ahead of yourself of like, what are people listening to this for? Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Just do it. Just put it out. Who cares?
You're like,
seriously, I just think too many musicians get it. Well, I don't understand how people are using my music. Who gives a fuck? Just do it. Just like, let them have it.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point. It's like, I don't necessarily need to understand why people are eating cheeseburgers at McDonald's. They are.
No.
So, I don't
just
understand
like the people
it.
that don't understand acapellas and instrumentals. Well, why wouldn't you want the whole thing? It doesn't matter to you. Who cares?
Yeah, that's not for you.
Although they can rip off your music, but whatever.
Yeah. Well,
but you should be so lucky if you get a hit like that.
Yeah.
Like, Diplo used my acapella. No, he didn't.
That's funny.
All right, so that's it. Do some sped up, do some slowed down. Kids don't do drugs. Adults do a little bit more. Okay, let's get to Sink of the Week. How was that, Kelsey? That was all music business.
Yeah.
And Ariana Grande. She likes Ariana Grande.
Yep, I like the Ariana Grande too.
Not as huge of a fan. I liked her on Bang Bang with Jessie J. But,
I love that fucking track. But
I still listen to that.
That's a great track. You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
mine comes from a trailer that just dropped.
Oh.
I am very excited about this. It's, let's see. Oh, I'm so excited I fucking forgot. No, I believe I've been writing it wrong. But no, okay, I'm right. It's Drugstore June. Okay, there's a trailer coming out that's called Drugstore June. It's a movie. It's a comedy movie. It has a bunch of people. If you're a little bit younger, you're going to know a lot of these names. Esther Povitsky, Trevor Wallace, Miranda Cosgrove.
Yep.
Danny Griffin, Jackie Sandler. Hello. But if you're a little bit older, you may know some of these other names. Bill Burr.
Who's
Bobby
that?
Lee.
No, I don't know that.
Haley Joel Osment. Mash Walsh. There are a ton. Al Madrigal. Beverly D'Angelo. You're going to know, somebody is going to know somebody in this movie.
Wow.
It is a comedy. It's kind of like a conglomeration of a bunch of fucking comedians got together to write this, but I think it's directed by Nicholas Goosen, and it's Bill Burr's all over this. Shout Factory is behind it. All Things Comedy is behind it. But there is just tons of people in this movie. It's coming out this year. I don't know when it's coming out because the trailer just dropped. But in the trailer, I love this placement. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's Punk Tactics by Joey Valance and Bray. Now, if you're on TikTok, you probably have seen Joey Valance and Bray. They're basically two guys who do kind of Beastie Boys rap. It's like 90s rap, basically. I have loved them for 2 years.
Nice.
Joey Valance, I fucking love it. It's great rap if you like that kind of rap. And so not mumble rap. This is very in your face, heavy beats,
Nice.
90s references, Mario Brothers. They shot one of them on a Nintendo.
Awesome.
Like it just get into Joey Valance and Bray. Like you will love them if you're into that kind of 90s rap shit. And Punk Tactics is a great song, but they were independent. And this is a TikTok sensation thing. And their song is placed in this trailer.
Nice.
Enjoy your $28,000 because it's a fucking great placement.
Yeah.
The creative director is Dave McLaughlin, who also was the editor of the trailer, runs Boom Boom Records, and he worked with Shot Studios and Slice Collectives. And so it's a great trailer. So if you're a young person, you're going to love this. Drugstore June, you're going to know a bunch of these influencers. And even if you're an older person, you're going to be like, oh, Bill Burr is a doctor. So Shout Factory is involved in it, and it's a great placement from my boys, Joey Valance and Bray, who are blowing up now.
Nice. Who's the Cash Me Outside?
Yep.
She's in this. Yeah. I was like, fuck, man. Also, Dexter's dad, James Remar, is in it.
Like, and if you go down the cast list,
it's pretty fucking nuts.
More and more, and you're like the Rutherfords.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Brittany Ferlin. Yeah. Like it just goes on and on.
Yes, that looks fun. That one.
It's not gonna win awards, but
no, but it looks fun.
It's supposed to be a fun comedic movie, and I think, and Esther kind of shines in the trailer.
Yeah, the director of Grandma's Boy is on the. Excellent.
I just wonder how Happy Madison didn't produce this.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I mean, or maybe they're like
maybe they got some money on it.
Maybe fucking like Sandler's just sitting up there in his Godfather fucking throne and like just pulling the strings like. Give it to the small guy,
Yeah, totally.
Mine is the entirety of the Family Plan soundtrack on Apple TV.
Okay.
Because I just it was every time there was a song in it. The movie's fine, but the music supervision in it is fucking great. My premiere moment was watching Marky Mark of the Funky Bunch fame. Rap not to his feel the vibrations, but to rap with Michelle Monaghan to Ice Ice Baby. The irony was not lost on me.
As the kids rolled their eyes.
They did a little break of About Damn Time Lizzo in there, but it was really the Ice Ice Baby, and it was the second time I had over our fucking deep freeze. I watched two movies. I watched The Family Plan and I watched Gran Turismo, and in both of them there was an Enya placement. So, she's coming back. She's coming back. And it was the way that it was used in both cases was really beautiful. But
was it Return to Innocence in both?
No, that's Enigma. I can't believe you failed that one. Just hand Kelsey your wallet. She'll figure it out for you.
Well, here's what's hilarious is what's in my head is, oh,
not the Proclaimers.
To innocence.
Yeah, I believe that was an Enigma. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was like
Enigma
during the Gregorian chant boom of the
summer.
1900s, where Sarah McLachlan really made her real stance. But yeah, there was two Enya placements, and I was just they were both used in beautiful ways. It was so there was a Grace Potter placement. There was Only Time by Enya, and then there was Ice Ice Baby. It was really, and About Damn Time Lizzo. And I just was every time a song was used, it was just there was a point where he actually puts on something really relaxing for everybody to listen to while he's fighting dudes on motorcycles outside the van, and it was just it was really big dumb fun. And I don't know about you, but. Ted was my Marky Mark turning point, right? It was the first movie where I watched him. I was like, I fucking love this guy. I really love this guy. And so I enjoy watching him. Ted was really the turning point for me. And so like anytime I watch him just being a bit of a douche, I enjoy it. So I've yet to see the Ted series, but The Family Plan, the whole thing is fucking fun as shit. Every time there's a placement, it's really great. And that's Lucy Bright is the supervisor on
Lucy
that one.
Bright, very nice.
Very nice. It's very good.
Yeah, that was big dumb fun. That's the right way to explain that movie.
I enjoyed it.
I thought it was fun. Yeah, it's fun. Again, it's not going to win any awards.
No. Mm-hmm.
But it's not going to make you think.
Marky Mark says fuck yeah like nobody else. He's like, fuck yeah. Like, it's like, I just love the way he says that. He doesn't say it in this movie, but in Ted.
It's one of those movies where if someone asked me to explain it, I'm like, okay, da 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 da, and then hijinks ensue, and you know the rest of it.
It took longer for the hijinks to ensue.
It really did. Like
than I thought it would.
Holding it out. We don't want to give it away or anything. The plot point.
But I was very entertained by the entire thing. So.
It was fun. Well, that's a really good one. Very nice.
Thanks.
All right, let's wrap this sucker up, everybody. Hey, make sure to check out StuMillerMusic.com. Do you have any spots left?
I give it 2 weeks, and I'm polishing off one round of mentorship, and then into the next quarter of mentorships. Plus, I have one studio spot left. I'm working on some other stuff too.
But if you got a new single, comes out, he will be older and wiser and have some slots open. So check out StuMillerMusic.com right now. Make sure to rate and subscribe and give us 5 stars over there on Apple Podcasts, and leave a hilarious comment. And I don't know why I'm talking like a radio disc jockey in the morning. It's 45 degrees outside. I-25 is packed. Be careful out there, everybody. You can check out at 2ShotsMusicPod. That's the number 2ShotsMusicPod anywhere you follow people, and you can email us 2ShotsMusicPod@gmail.com.
Send us emails. We love answering your questions.
Yes, please send us more emails.
When we remember
Stop sending Stu foot pictures. Thank you very much.
I subscribe to a lot of OnlyFans pages just to have them not send me stuff.
Good Lord. The box is just full of them.
It's just full.
But until we speak to you next week, we hope you write a great song and take care of yourself and others. Thank you so much for joining us this week.
Love you. Write a great song.
Love you. Goodbye.